Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's Gwendolyn F. Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Flair and Michael Bullock. We're just going to dive right on in. We're going to start out with TNA Impact. Then we're going to do SmackDown Live. And then we're going to do a brief little recap on last night's AAA show. So that was exclusively on YouTube.com. So we're going to start out with Anthony and myself. We'll start out with TNA per the usual. Started out with a promo segment by Mike Santana that led to our first fight of the night, which was Myla Grace, Danny Luna, Rosemary, and Indy Hartwell in a fatal four-way. Winner of the bout in 9 minutes and 52 seconds was Danny Luna. She wins it. So solid opener. Solid match, I would say. A good showcase fight for the rising names. Especially Danny Luna and for Myla Grace. They both look pretty good in this matchup. I'm actually surprised Danny Luna gets the win here. I would have thought maybe Indy Hartwell to keep her momentum going, but no. They give Danny Luna the Duke, so nothing more to say. I thought this was about maybe 2 3/4, close to 3. So, Anthony, it's yours.
No, I'm giving it 3. This classic case of, this was one of those everyone goes nuts for a bit until someone gets the pinfall, with Danny Luna taking out Indy Hartwell to continue their issues. Danny Luna has gotten a lot more interesting since Spitfire split up. And I like that. As someone has to move up the ladder at some point, odds are she will not win the title, but at least she's getting a chance. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. So with that, let's move on.
All right, next up that we did, the next relevant match was Mance Warner going one-on-one with Matt Cardona. Mance Warner winning the match in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
2.5 stars. If TNA wants Mance Warner to actually be something, he has to win a match every so often. That's what we got to see here, as Warner and Steph DeLander worked well together to get Mance a win. It helps that Steph DeLander and Matt Cardona have such a history together, as it actually made that match feel a bit more important. So solid 2.5. MF, your thoughts?
Oh,
MF?
All right. Yeah, I'm here. I didn't know if you were going back to me or not because you kind of your mic went off for a second. Yeah, 2.5 stars. I thought it was a solid matchup. Really not much to say there. Then we had John Skyler versus Myron Reed. And John Skyler winning the match in 6 minutes and 52 seconds. Solid matchup, good battle. I'm not going to say it was a masterpiece in no stretch of the word, but it was still a solid fight. And I'll even go and say, not bad, maybe 2 1/4, 2.5. So, Anthony, it's yours.
2.5. Once again, I wasn't crazy about the ending, but it was a good example of two people who are given the chance to showcase themselves. That's exactly what they did here, and it made for a solid match. Order 4, moving on from the system to the Rascals, is a nice shift, as both of them could use a bit of a change of pace. Good match here with Myron Reed's athleticism being quite the treat. So 2.5 stars. MF, move on.
All right, next up we had was a fatal 4-way. Another knockouts fatal 4-way. This time it was Xia Brookside, Killer Kelly, Victoria Crawford, and Jody Threat, and it was Xia Brookside winning it all in 5 minutes and 19 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
I have 851 on my end, so I'm basing it off of that. It's 2.5 to 3. It was another fast-paced match here, though the rest is only so much you can get out of a match that is just shy of 9 minutes with a commercial in the middle. Xia Brookside is another person who could be moved into title contention even in the short term, and it's nice to see her getting a chance. If nothing else, that Brookside bomb is a cool enough finisher to get her somewhere. 2.5 to 3. I have 851 on my end, so that's probably because of the commercial.
And that's why, because it says it's 5 minutes and 19 seconds of on-air time. So they're discounting the commercial. So of on-air time, it's 5:19. So
then it's 2.5. Easy.
That's what, huh?
Then it's 2.5. Then it's a 2.5 star match. Easy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to give it, 2.5. So I thought they did a fine job with the match. I think, like you said, there wasn't really anything to really write home about. So I thought they did a fine job with it. Leads us to the main event of the evening. Johnny Dango Curtis going up against Eric Young. And it was JDC winning the match in 13 minutes and 4 seconds. By default, fight of the night. Solid matchup. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I like the action that went down. Maybe, and there is a rumor going around, and actually, no, I'll stand corrected. Final resolution has been confirmed. Frankie Kazarian versus Johnny Dango Curtis for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, it looks like that could be a banger. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it plays out. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
3.25 to 3.5 stars. Going with the sooner retired JDC for one big shot at the world title is a good way to go. And even if there is no reason to believe he's going to win the title, it's a nice idea. At the same time, I can go for Eric Young losing more often, though I'm scared of whatever this cleanse could mean. Please don't let him be behind the whole NXT invasion. I could not handle Eric Young as the top heel again. So 3.25 to 3.5 stars. And I'm going to take the overall review for a spin here. This was a 7.5 out of 10. It at least felt like a normal edition of the show as they were focused on a few things and advanced those forward. Final resolution might not be the most important show, but they've done a nice job of setting it up on short notice. I like the show well enough, and it makes me wonder where some of the things are going. At the same time, I'm scared to know where some of those same things are going. And, Eric Young, for example. So that's really all I can say there. So there will not be a show. There will not be an Impact on Thanksgiving night. Access TV is going to be showing some classic movies on Thanksgiving Day. So Impact will be back the following Thursday, December the 4th. So just to give you a heads up. So it's a 7.5 out of 10 for me. So MF, your overall thoughts, and then we'll get into SmackDown.
Yeah, 7.5, no doubt about it. I thought they did a fine job with it. Nothing more to add. So now we go into SmackDown live from the Ball Center or the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, home of the Denver Nuggets and, more importantly, the Colorado Avalanche, exclusively on the USA Network in the United States and on Netflix around the world. Started off with, The Vision and Logan Paul as they're talking about the War Games, so nothing to add there. We did have a United States Heavyweight Championship match, open challenge. Ilya Dragunov put the title on the line. And J.D. McDonough of the Judgment Day answers the bell. Winner of the bout. 16 minutes and 37 seconds. And still the United States Heavyweight Champion, the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. I'm going to go on a limb and call it Fight of the Night. This was an absolute banger. And this was exactly what it needed it to be. An amazing jump off to the show. And when I saw McDonough's when I heard the Judgment Day's music, I was like, okay, is it Finn? Is it McDonough? Either or, we're going to get a banger. And then it was McDonough. I'm like, oh, this is even better. Because JD's never really had a moment where he really got a chance to stand out. And with the wrestling abilities of an Ilya Dragunov and the wrestling abilities of JD McDonough, this was a banger to open SmackDown. Normally we'd be crapping about SmackDown like, they're not really utilizing their, the talent. They did on this one. This was beautiful. I loved it. 3.5 stars. To me, this is my fight of the night. I'm not... you can make an argument for others, but to me, this was fight of the night. Anthony, go.
Slight underscore here. For me, this was a 4 to 4.25 star match. Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. These two have fought many times on the indies and in WWE, so there was no love lost. This was a hard-hitting fight that made both men look like tough competitors. Dragunov was bleeding a little, and McDonough's chest was beat red from strikes. While McDonough put up a great fight, this was not his night to win singles gold. After a long back-and-forth fight, Dragunov won clean with the H-bomb. Like every Dragunov Open challenge, it's not only one you need to see for yourself. It's also in the tradition of the U.S. Open Challenge, whether it was John Cena, Sami Zayn, and now Ilya Dragunov. We can all agree that every match that we get is going to be banger after banger after banger. And that's exactly what we got here. And there's nothing really much more that we need to address from that. So, fight of the night, but with all due respect, MF, you slightly underscored it. The correct rating for this match is 4, teetering on 4.25. This was the fight. You are correct. It is the fight of the night, but small disagreement on the rating other than that. But nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. First time we're going to hear from you tonight. Phenom. We saw this. So we had our SmackDown chat this past Friday night, and every U.S. Open Challenge match, we always say it, banger after banger, and this was no exception.
Yeah, this was definitely no exception. This was definitely 4.25, and definitely night. I mean, as I pointed out to you, Florio, that this was not the first time that these two have faced off. You got to go back to the days of NXT UK when Ilya Dragunov was the then NXT UK champion, and JD McDonough at the time was known as Jordan Devlin. So it's been a while since they met, but either way, like you said, as soon as we saw that it was JD McDonough, I was like, yeah, it's going to be another banger. And boy, howdy, that's exactly what we got. But then again, when it comes to these U.S. Open challenges, it's always going to be banger after banger, one year and another. So another successful title defense. So we'll see what it brings next. So there's really nothing more to say. Watch.
All right. With that said, we now have the John Cena My Time Is Now tournament matchup. Big Bronson Reed versus Carmelo Hayes. The winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 49 seconds via countout is Carmelo Hayes. He wins the match. So much interference in this matchup as it broke down into a War Games brawl, and Cody Rhodes getting on Bronson Reed, knocking him out, then helping Mello get back into the ring. Referee starts his count, and the ref counts to 10 as Big Bronson Reed was unable to get back into the ring. Therefore, Mello advances. Bronson Reed is out. Anthony Florio, it is all yours as Mello wins it in 13:49.
And next up for Carmelo Hayes, the Ring General, Gunther. So he goes from one big man to another. Wow. 3.5 stars, although you can make an argument for 3.25 because of the interference, but at the same time, it makes sense, from the story perspective, from the War Games story here. Classic David versus Goliath dynamic. Bronson Reed, dominant monster. Carmelo Hayes did a great job giving the crowd hope that he would make a comeback. Usos came to Mello's defense when Braun Breaker and Logan Paul started interfering. Paul Heyman had the referee distracted. Cody Rhodes showed up. And then he pushed Bronson Reed into the ring post, allowing Carmelo Hayes to win by countout to advance in the tournament. WWE doesn't do this kind of finish much these days, so it felt like a decent way to advance this story while also giving Mello a huge win. Biggest win for Mello in quite some time. So could it lead to an even bigger win tomorrow night when he goes up against Gunther on Monday Night Raw in Oklahoma City? I'm guessing the answer to that is going to be no. But he is going to give Gunther everything he can handle and then some. So Not much more to add here. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Rate it what you will. Even though it does make sense in the context of the War Games story. So leaning more towards that 3.5 star range. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, we saw this and we couldn't believe it. Carmelo Hayes with the big win thanks to Cody Rhodes. But now, as congratulations, Carmelo Hayes, you got the win. That's great. But the bad news is tomorrow night in OKC, you got a ring general waiting for you.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, exactly. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's bad enough that that Melo's had to deal with Big Bronson Reed. Now he's got to deal with the ring general tomorrow night. Well, I mean, your boy Carmelo Hayes, he says he better prove it to him. Like, Gunther and his chops are going to be waiting for him. That's not going to be easy. But Melo, if I know like you do, Fletch, he's going to push Gunther to the limit. I mean, so I'm gonna go 3.25 to 3.5 as well. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could say maybe 3.25 is the better rating because of all that interference, but I think Florio actually brings up a good point because the continued storyline leading into the men's War Games. So yeah, I mean, big win for Melo. Could it lead to something bigger? We'll find out come tomorrow night. But by golly, Fletch, as I give it to you, Melo better bring his A game because Gunther, Melo may be entering Chop City, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 3.25 stars. I totally agree with everything that you guys have said. I thought they did a fine job with it. Could have been better. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm not too mad about it. They did a very good job. So let's just move right on along. Next up we had was DIY versus Fraxium. DIY winning the match in 8 minutes and 14 seconds. Michael Bullock, if there's one thing you know about me, it's always been about the luchador mask. Candice LeRae unmasking Axiom in the middle, at a high point of the match. She stole the mask, ripped the mask really right off his face. Gargano gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, and wins it.
What was the time of the fall again, Fletch?
8:14.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 2.5 to 3, but boy, Fletch, I mean, when I saw Candice LeRae rip she literally passed right off of Axiom, like, oh my gosh. I know somewhere Fletch right now is he's probably going Cerebral Viper mode on Candice LeRae because, as you said, Fletch, like you just said, but remind our folks again, what is the one cardinal sin that you don't want to do when it comes to Lucha Libre wrestling?
Unmasking a wrestler is the most disgraceful thing that you can do.
Yeah, and what you did, Candice LeRae, was one of the most disgraceful and quite frankly, the most distasteful thing that you could ever do. And I'll tell you what, those people out there, when it comes to Lucha Libre in Mexico, they probably don't want to see your little ass back in Mexico anytime soon because you disrespected the tradition of that mask. We've seen it from so many. The mask is it's like a pride. It's like it's Mexican pride. I mean, so many great wrestlers. I mean, Rey Mysterio, the Lucha Bros. I mean, Mil Mascaras. I could go on and on and on about it. But ripping a mask off like that is something that is just so distasteful that you may not even be welcome back in Mexico anytime soon. So, Candice, for that, you are a distasteful little bitch for doing something like that. I wish there was a Mexican way to say bitch in that.
No, but yeah.
I said I wish there was, but
yeah, I know it.
I'm not gonna.
I know the word. I'm not saying it. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's all I'll say. So 2.5 to 3 on the match, but Candice LeRae, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for what you did. It's yours.
Yeah, it took a little bit away from the match. It was about a 2.25, 2.5. It does serve the purpose because DIY definitely wants to get a shot at the tag team titles, but that is not the way to do it. But it is fine because it does play into their heel character more than anything else. So I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I'm not mad about it. Obviously, you know my feeling and my sentiments about it, but other than that, that's it. Yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
2.5 to 2.75 of a star. I mean, what a damn shame. I mean, when you think DIY and Fraxium, you're thinking banger fight of the night, right? You're thinking that. We didn't get that here. Solid match with a semi-creative ending that will keep the feud alive. And from a professional standpoint with you guys, I mean, I feel the same way about the Lucha Mask. However, as a heel commentator, MF, I ate this up the other night.
Oh, absolutely. You're like, my God. Now I know why he wears the mask. Damn, that boy looks ugly. And I absolutely railed on you for that.
Yeah, you let out a Gorilla Monsoon.
I would have chewed your ass out,
Will you stop?
Out for that.
Yeah, Anthony was like, he's like, gee, now I know why he wears that mask. Damn, that boy is ugly. And I was like, will you stop? And then Volek jumps and like, how dare you say that, man? You know what the mask means to the luchadors in Mexico? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, all kidding aside, getting back to business here. Fraxium is one of those teams WWE can put in the ring with anyone and get a great match. They are that good. WWE had better not break up DIY again just because of this Ilya Dragunov stuff. It feels like they have broken up and reunited more than enough. And like her or not, Candice LeRae feels so underused. She is a fantastic performer, and WWE never seems to know what to do with her. So, but other than that, 2.5 to 2.75 of a star. Little disappointing. I was expecting a banger, and we only got that. Little disappointed, but it was fine for what it was. But it should have been a lot better considering who was involved. So,
Agreed.
Not much more to say. MF, let's move on here.
Next up we had was the last time is now tournament matchup, as it was Penta going one-on-one with Finn Balor, and Penta wins the match. 10 minutes, 11 seconds. Solid matchup, to say the very least. Good win for him as he now advances into the next round. He goes off, and now he goes up against Solo Sikoa. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. This was a solid matchup, to say the very least. So, yeah, I would say about three stars. Anthony, yours?
3 to 3.25 for me. WWE was smart to put this match in the main event because, well, when it comes to in-ring action anyways, the main event of in-ring action, because these are two of the most skilled people who competed on the card this week. Penta and Finn Balor only competed against each other for the first time this year, but since then they have had a handful of matches and improved with each one. Finn Balor was doing his usual heel act, which made Penta even more popular with the live crowd. Everything Penta did seemed to get a reaction, and after the Prince failed to hit the coup de grace, or as we call it, the kutreka, courtesy of Luigi PS3, Penta was able to hit his Mexican destroyer for the win. And that's all I can really add on to that. So Penta against Solo tomorrow night. My gut tells me to go with Penta in that one, but we'll have to wait and see. So this is 3 to 3.25. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 3.25. I mean, it was a solid match. I mean, obviously to me, the right person went over, and yeah, Penta now's got to go 1-on-1 with Solo Sikoa. Oh, I I could see Penta winning, but watch out for the MFTs because probably stick their nose where it doesn't belong. So
Mhm.
so we'll see what happens with that. So nothing more for me to say. Fletch, I think we move on to the final segment of the night.
Yes, it was. It was the women's war game situation. So what happened was it was basically earlier in the night, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley basically they all had their moments. They cooled their jets and they ended up, you know, they ended up announcing that they were gonna do what they need to do, and they actually they buried the hatchet, and Charlotte officially joined the Face Squad. So then the four baby faces, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley made their way to the ring, cut her promo quickly, then was interrupted, and actually she addressed the fifth member. Well, the fifth member came out, and it was AJ Lee. So then Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors they jumped from behind, and they basically got blindsided. So everything looked like AJ noticed was making her way to the ring, cold cocked by Becky Lynch. Becky got her revenge on AJ Lee for costing her the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Madison Square Garden, and then the heels stood tall at the end of the night, and more importantly, Becky Lynch extended her arm out to Asuka, and it was a handshake of devilish proportions. Becky Lynch is member number 5 for the heel squad. Nia Jax, Lash Legends, the Kabuki Warriors, and now the man, Becky Lynch. On the heel side, on the face side, it is Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and AJ Lee. Anthony Florio. Huh. What a way to close the show. We got our squads are now complete on the women's side.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you what. We called this. I mean, we saw this coming from a mile away, honestly. The segment not quite as eventful as what we saw with the men's segment last Monday night in Madison Square Garden, but still, I mean, it was still exciting, and no big surprise that these were the final two that were going to be added. And the face team, I think we're looking at possibly the greatest women's team in Survivor Series history. I mean, with Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea, Io, and AJ, I mean, whoa. All of the accolades between the 5 of them and their bodies of work. That's why we're looking. You could make an argument this might be the best Survivor Series team on the women's side in history, and there have been some good ones over the years, but this one I think might be the best one of them all. Can't really say the same thing about the face side. I mean, with the exception of Becky and the Kabukis. I mean, Nia and Lash. I mean, I can't really get all that excited about it. I mean, good for Lash, though. I mean, what a way to, welcome to the main roster, Lash Legend. We're putting you in the women's War Games match. That is huge for her. I will give it that. But at the same time, it's not all that exciting, and not all that exciting to have Nia in there. But, you could have had some other names in there, but 3 out of 5, not too bad. I mean, Becky and the Kabukis, those are great, but especially Becky and Asuka. I mean, we know the history of Becky and Asuka, and now they're partners, and there's going to be a lot of dynamics in that match on Saturday night that I can't wait to see. The one that really sticks out, of course. What's it gonna be like when Charlotte and Becky square off at some point? That's gonna be fun. So, but anyways, good segment, solid segment. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but like I said, I thought the men's War Game reveal on Monday was a little bit better and a little more eventful. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I believe we had this one right. AJ and Becky rounding out the team like we predicted.
Yeah, you and I we saw this one coming because, I mean, after everything that transpired on Monday night, I think you and I we had this feeling that Becky and AJ were going to round out the teams. I mean, especially when Rhea Ripley on Monday night went to AJ and basically said, "You got a second to chat?" And AJ was like, "Sure." And as soon as that happened, I'm like, she's joining the face side when it comes to the women's War Games. And then obviously with the outcome, I'm like thinking, yeah, Becky's gonna join the heel side. And you're forgetting another thing, Florio, when it comes to the men's side. About Becky and Nia on the same team.
Oh, Becky and Nia on the same team. That's right.
Because
after
remember,
what happened 7 years ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Ironically, I just watched that back last night, believe it or not.
Yeah, because we were supposed to have, at that time, Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch when it was then Raw versus SmackDown Live. And then when the women invaded Monday Night Raw, well, the women from SmackDown, and then what happened afterwards? It was Nia Jax who broke Becky Lynch's nose. And it was because of that. That Becky had to withdraw from the match. So, and you know the hatred that these two had, but now to see the two of them on the team, interesting to say the very least. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, this should be a really good women's War Games. I mean, yeah, good for Lash Legend because, like you said, I mean, this is going to be a huge. I mean, on the big stage of Survivor Series in the women's War Games match, that's going to be something there for her. And so, yeah, I mean, a solid segment, a great way to close out. This segment. Well, one person I give it to you who's probably not happy about Becky Lynch, especially what she did Friday night. That would be one Mr. Raw GM Adam Pearce, who Becky left. And if I understand, 39 voicemail messages. Oh my gosh! As soon as I saw that, I'm like, that's enough to send Adam over the edge and go into his angry Adam Pearce mode.
Enough.
But Becky, but if I know Becky, she's like, I don't care. You want to angry Adam Pearce? How about angry Becky Lynch? Well, forget about angry Becky Lynch. How about psychotic? Because ever since she lost the title, Fletch, she has gone into an absolute meltdown.
Rage. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I'm gonna bring back an old Girl of Monsoon comment. Remember when Sid Justice was making his way to the ring when Girl of Monsoon straight jacket material.
Yep. I remember that.
You could say the same maybe for Becky Lynch with the way she is with calling Adam Pearce like 39 times and leaving a voice message and all the Twitter comments.
Yeah.
Part of me's like, lithium. You need lithium.
Yep. All right. So with that said, let's get into the overall review, and I believe it goes to Michael Bullock. So Yeah, Bullock, it's yours. Give us your overall review on SmackDown, and then we'll get ready for AAA.
All right. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, it could have been better in some areas, but all in all, I mean, I'm gonna give this about maybe 7 to 7.5. But well, actually, earlier in the day, I mean, we all thought that the recording for next week's SmackDown was gonna be on Monday after Raw, but they actually did it immediately after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Told you so.
So it's. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it. We're obviously night, so I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to say anything. So to you people, you're going to have to wait and find out Friday night what happened during those tapings. So nothing more to say. It's your Sledge.
Yeah, I'll say 7 out of 10. I thought they did a good job with the show. Really nothing more to go beyond that. So yeah, Anthony, it is yours.
When it comes to the taping there, they did a double taping, obviously, because we have Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday and then the day after, so Black Friday. So they obviously wanted to give the talent those few days, with the exception of tomorrow, of course. And then after tomorrow, they'll be off pretty much the rest of the week, and then it's back to business on Saturday night when it comes to Survivor Series War Games. And we'll figure out a day to preview that show. But for right now, this is a 7 to 7.5. Friday's show seemed pretty average on paper, but it ended up being one of the better recent episodes, thanks to 4 strong matches and a few storyline developments. Depending on what you enjoy, any of the matches we got Friday night could be considered the best. But if we had to pick one, we are absolutely going with Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough for the United States Heavyweight Championship. WWE has felt a little bland in recent weeks, but things are beginning to heat up again as we head into Survivor Series. 7.5 for me. So not much more to say. MF, it's not often we have this, but we got a Mikey's Mindset, AAA style. It's all yours.
Yeah, we do. It was actually done last night from the legendary Arena CDMX in Mexico City. If you guys know anything about this, this is the home of AAA. This is where they do the Triple Mania. And yes, this was their show. So they did it. And we started it off with a number one contenders match to determine the number one contender for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship of the world and the current champion. And as a matter of fact, the Laredo Kid is the reigning champion. This match will be determined. The number one contender, the title match, will be done on December 20th at the War of Heroes. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 12 minutes and 13 seconds was Javon Evans. He knocked off Axiom and Octagon Jr. to earn the shot. So it will be that. After that, Laredo Kid, and there was a little talk, not much. So then we was an 8-man tag team fight, as it was El Messias, Meta Wolf, Samson, and Francisco going up against all 4 members of Los Psycho Circus. Dave the Clown, Murder Clown, Pagano Jr., and Psycho Clown himself. Oh, by the way, Pagano and Psycho Clown, the AAA World Tag Team Champions. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 12 minutes and 9 seconds was the Psycho Circus. And it was a great match. Good nonstop action. This was incredible to watch. And then basically Psycho got on the mic and basically was saying, Wyatt 6, You've been a thorn in our side. We're had enough of you. And if you guys want to fight, us 4 against your 4. And let's do it. Well, you made a mistake. Psycho, you made the biggest mistake of your life. Because then, Bo Dallas appears on the screen. The crowd goes bonkers. And then Bo Dallas starts talking and says, you know, at La Guerra de Titans, de Titaninas, or basically the War of Titans, next month in Guadalajara, it's not going to be a welcome sight. What it's going to be is an anarchy. What's going to happen is going to be nothing that AAA or WWE has ever seen before. Challenge accepted. Oh, batten down the hatches, folks. That's all I'm saying on that one. Third fight of the night was for the AAA mixed tag team titles. The challengers, Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana, they go up against the reigning champions, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. And when it was all said and done, Chelsea Green and Ethan Page wins the match in 7 minutes and 2 seconds. And there was a moment where Ethan Page almost crossed a line that he almost should not have crossed. So basically, Ethan Page got all tied up, and she gave the kendo stick and there was a kendo stick that was brought in by Chelsea, and Ethan took it. He lined up Lola to whack her with it, but Iguana pushed her out of the way and ate the kendo stick shot as a martyr to be the hero for her, and ended up getting pinned 1, 2, 3. Then Dr. Wagner, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. showed up, and basically a fight broke out, but then Ethan Page took him out thanks to a little bit of some help from Chelsea Green. So, yeah, and that's going to be a matchup coming up at the La Ganas de Titans. It is going to be Ethan Page versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. for the Latin American title. And the main event for this show, El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio, the AAA Mega Campeón, going up against Dragon Lee and El Hijo de Vecino. Winners of the bout in 17 minutes and 4 seconds was El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio. The reason why, El Hijo de Vecino betrays Dragon Lee, finally goes full-fledged heel in Mexico. The fans were booing him the whole night. He was getting the Roman Reigns treatment, and now he finally turns and goes full heel and told the entire Mexico that you were nothing but basura, that you were trash, you were garbage, and fuck you for disrespecting me, because I carried AAA for all those years. So, Dominic Mysterio basically says he's the king of the luchadors, and that him and El Grande Americano are the greatest people, the greatest thing in Mexico today, and that nothing was going to stop them. Well, let's just say we had a bomb that was sitting and it finally detonated. You know what it is? The Lucha Bros, Rey Fénix, Penta El Cerro Miedo. They're back in AAA, and they challenged them to a match a tag team fight to go down at the pay-per-view, the big event on December 20. Challenge accepted. Yes, folks, get ready. Mexico went nuts. They went bonkers because for the first time in about 3 years, La Lucha Bros, Rey Fenix, and Penta are going to reunite as a tag team. They were the greatest tag team in AAA history, being multi-time tag team champions, and both men individually are former Mega Campeones in their own right. So that's the show. We're done. We're out of here. So on Tuesday night is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. It will have obviously Monday Night Raw, and we'll also have NXT. And then on Wednesday is the world famous legendary football feast. We're going to cover the NFL Thanksgiving games. We are also going to be covering major college football matchups. The rivalries are here, including the big one, Michigan and Ohio State at the Big House. I think on Friday we're covering the rest of the NFL, Anthony, on Friday night.
Yes. Let me help you out with the future content there, MF. Tuesday, you're right. It's Monday Night Raw, and we're also going to have the week 2 of the Gold Rush for NXT.
Yep.
And then Wednesday, don't forget the Black Friday game as well.
Yep, Black Friday as well.
In addition to the NFL Thanksgiving games and all top 25 action as part of Rivalry Week. And then Friday, we'll give like a quick thought on the Thanksgiving games, our standout moments, because we're not going to recap each game individually. We'll be there all night. But we'll do like a quick retrospective on the Thanksgiving games and Black Friday, preview the remaining games of week number 13. And time permitting, I'm hoping that we can get a preview of Survivor Series War Games in there. Hoping. And then Saturday, of course, that's when we're going to recap it all. Am I right on that?
Yeah, we'll recap. We will indeed recap the Survivor Series show. And then we start all over again next week. So, guys, this is it. All right, we're done. We're out of here. For Anthony Floyer, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you all on Tuesday.